Welcome to our comprehensive exploration of Rags to Riches, the second of Christopher Booker's 7 basic plots. Today we'll do a deep dive into each stage of this plot structure, using consistent examples to illustrate how stories progress through these stages. The Rags to Riches plot typically follows these 5 stages: 1. Initial wretchedness, 2. Call to action, 3. Initial success, 4. Central crisis, and finally 5. Final union and completion. 1. Initial wretchedness. In this stage, we meet the protagonist in their initial state of poverty, obscurity, or despair. A. Great expectations. Pip is an orphan being raised by his harsh older sister and her kind husband, the blacksmith Joe Gargery. B. Cinderella. Cinderella lives as a servant in her own home, mistreated by her stepmother and stepsisters. C. The Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, starts as a young, broke stockbroker, struggling to make ends meet. Key elements of this stage: establishing the protagonist's humble beginnings, highlighting the challenges and limitations of their current situation, creating empathy for the protagonist. 2. Call to action. An opportunity arises that offers the possibility of escape from their current situation. A. Great expectations. Pip is given the opportunity to play at Miss Havisham's house, where he meets Estella and dreams of becoming a gentleman. B. Cinderella. The royal ball is announced, with the prince seeking a bride. C. The Wolf of Wall Street, Belfort gets a job at a prestigious Wall Street firm, seeing it as his ticket to wealth. Key elements: introduction of a new opportunity or challenge, the protagonist's initial reaction to this opportunity, seeds of change being planted. The protagonist experiences their first taste of success or improvement in their situation. In Great Expectations, Pip receives news that he has great expectations. A secret benefactor will fund his transformation into a gentleman. In Cinderella, with the help of her fairy godmother, Cinderella attends the ball and charms the prince. In The Wolf of Wall Street, Belfort enjoys his first successes on Wall Street, making significant money and starting to live a luxurious lifestyle. This is the first major positive change in the protagonist's circumstances. But of course, with new gains come new challenges. The protagonist must adapt to their new situation. The protagonist faces a crisis that threatens to undo all their progress. In Great Expectations, Pip discovers that his benefactor is the convict Magwitch, not Miss Havisham, as he had assumed. His notion of being a gentleman is shattered. In Cinderella, Cinderella must leave the ball at midnight, returning to her life of servitude with only a glass slipper as proof of her experience. In The Wolf of Wall Street, Belfort's firm comes under investigation by the FBI for its fraudulent practices. His wealth and freedom are threatened. This is a significant setback or revelation, turning the protagonist's world upside down. It's a real test of their character. The protagonist overcomes the crisis and achieves a state of maturity and completion. In Great Expectations, Pip reconciles with Joe, recognizes the true nature of his relationships, and finds contentment in a more modest life. In Cinderella, the prince finds Cinderella with the glass slipper, and they live happily ever after. In The Wolf of Wall Street, Belfort is arrested and convicted, but uses his experiences to rebuild his life as a motivational speaker. This stage marks the resolution of the central crisis. The protagonist grows and matures, finding a new equilibrium that often involves both material and spiritual wealth. Throughout these stages, we see the protagonist's journey from poverty to wealth, often accompanied by personal growth and self-discovery. The riches in this plot type can be material wealth, but also love, recognition, or self-actualization. For writers, each stage presents opportunities: initial wretchedness, establish empathy, and set up the potential for growth. Call to action, create excitement and anticipation. Initial success, show the protagonist's adaptability and the allure of their new world. Central crisis, test the protagonist's values and create tension. Final union, provide a satisfying resolution that reflects the protagonist's journey. As we conclude, consider how these stages might apply to your own life experiences or goals. Have you faced moments of initial wretchedness? What calls to action have you received? How have you handled success? And what crises have tested your character? In our next video, we'll explore the quest plot type, again diving deep into each stage of its structure. Until then, remember that every journey from rags to riches is as much about internal growth as it is about external circumstances.